I've lost a lot of faith in the species, but I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I feel like my faith was unhealthy. It was like codependence or something. It was like, approval addiction or something. It's like, yeah, people suck. Like they're shitty. They're not all shitty, and they're not. None of them are all shitty as individuals, and certainly not all people are shitty. There's lots and lots of better ones and all this stuff, but it's just in general, so like bacteria, they're just garbage. The internet is just I still struggle now with like, oh, is it like I felt like my latest insight is like, because I posted this Instagram like where it's like the photo of the black hole, and I thought it was a funny joke, like a take on the thing. It was like the photo of the black hole, and I did this like caption where I was like, it was a headline that said like, meet the woman that took the photo of the black hole, and I did this caption that was like, okay, well, I saw this headline after I wrote my Rotten Tomatoes review of the black hole, and then did this kind of like review of the black hole where it was very clear that like I was trying to take something away from the black hole as if it was created by a woman. It was just like I thought it was a well-crafted, like, but not like beyond anyone's like reckoning kind of thing. And I remember like at the end of it, I was like, I always like hover over the click button. I'm like, okay, what is anybody going to misunderstand? And I remember going like, well, you say the word wheelchair at the end, and that'll probably trigger a couple people, and that's okay. Because I said, like, by the way, but bottom line is this black hole is basically just a collapsed star that could have been predicted by almost any guy in a wheelchair or something like that. And it was like, you said wheelchair, and like, you might get a couple like ableist comments, and that's fine. And then I clicked send, and it was like, I looked back at it, and I'm like, holy shit! It was like a petri dish, and it was like 10% of 300,000 people just in all sincerity, just going like, yeah, but just because she's a woman doesn't make the black hole any less valuable. Like in true sincerity.
Well, I read that one, and I predicted before I looked at any comments that you're going to get rumbled on that. Like,
and then the other 10% are arguing with them and going like, no, he's right. This is fucking bullshit. Like identity politics. I'm like, how, so just like dumb people. It was actually like out of all the things I've ever done that have been that misunderstood by that many people, like I'm kind of like, I regret that one the least, because it really is this like moment of clarity where I'm like, you can kind of like see, like, it felt like equal people on two lobes. There were just like people that saw concepts that made them want to leap to the defense of something with good intentions, and people that hated those people. Is it like all just like people not exercising any amount of critical thinking, really, right? Because there's absolutely no way. I mean, at what point did you? That's when I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, so are people getting dumber, or like? And then I pictured like, okay, let's go to the Roman Colosseum, and like, I think that I think that part of what the internet is doing is this. So imagine being at the Roman Colosseum, and there's no technology beyond like you're just in a crowd of people. That's the biggest internetiest crowd you could be in, is just a bunch of people at the Colosseum, and then someone comes out and they think they're going to try to do a little bit. Like they like maybe something about their bit. It's not. They didn't think it through. I wrote on the VMAs in 2006, and this writer, Matt Murray, was like, he's like, you're being too nuanced with some of this stuff. Like I wrote on the Jimmy Fallon VMAs, and like what I learned is that these kinds of audiences can express themselves in one of two ways. They can scream, or they can be quiet. And so like so you're imagining like the bandwidth being lowered, so you don't have a comment, everyone doesn't have like this QWERTY keyboard in front of them, and also, but they're connected to each other. So think about all the times you've ever been in public and you've been watching something like at a carnival or something, and like it's probably a hard thing to remember because it probably doesn't stick out that much in your memory because what you can probably remember is that this happens now and then. You just probably can't like conjure up a list of the times you've seen it, but you're at a live performance and something goes wrong. Something goes wrong between the performer and the audience. Either it's the performer's fault that they didn't realize like how the timing of it was going to work, or it's just simply like it's a matter of opinion on your part of whether or not there's anyone's fault. But like you have memories in your head of like a disconnect happening where somebody in the audience might go like oh boo like because they're responding at the wrong time to the wrong concept. And but then like that person traditionally they get swallowed up either by silence or there's a group of people around them that are like off with his head, no, but then they'll overhear people going like it's a bit like in real time, and it'll just kind of like wash out. That's like usually we're biologically designed for that to be a much more organic process. And yeah, people pop off and they want to be special and they want to contribute to things, but we're designed biologically to do that in an environment where it just like stabilizes itself so quickly, and which allows you to not have put your ass out there. That's the problem, I think, is that by the time people are telling you these days that you're a fucking idiot, which happens to the best of us, some shit goes over your head. Sometimes you're just looking at stuff the wrong way, the wrong angle, coffee cup, the wrong nutrients in your breakfast, like wrong timing. Some performer's fault sometimes too. But by the time someone is telling you, you didn't get it. It's over your head. You don't have a sense of humor. You didn't get it. You have written a fucking essay about how no, Captain Crunch should never be cloned. Cloning is unethical. Like there is no Captain Crunch. That's a serial character, and you're like, your tendency is therefore going to be like, well, yeah. Still, though, there are considerations whereas normally what you're designed to be able to do is just go you only have just a little bit of a yay or a boo coming out of your mouth before you feel that humiliation kick in. You don't have this kite that you've flown that's been designed and had all this energy put into it. And I think that's on one hand, I think that's like a way of looking at it positively and saying like, look, we're no different. We're not changing that much. We're just the medium. It just shines different lights on different parts of our the same amount of stupidity that we've always had. But a really scary way of looking at it is that, yeah, but that's a feedback loop. That's a memory you store now. It's different than going to a magic show and the lady's sawn a little bit in half and you're like, call 911. And like someone goes like, it's magic. And you're like, ah! That's a different story you have in your head and you file that differently and affects your neurological map completely differently than if you write a paragraph, advocating and defending and like accusing and hashtagging and then someone is like, wow, you read that wrong. And I don't know if that, it's like, it worries me that's going to make that sock off balance. It makes the dryer scoot all the way across the basement floor. Do millennials still have socks, basements, and dryers? Probably they figured out how to make dryers not scoot across the floor.
Are we living in a post-sock millennial world right now?
They probably have like contextually aware like dryers now that are like, there's only one sock in here. I will group swarm. I will tag 3 other dryers on the block and receive sock information from them.
I want to hear more from Millennial Dryer.
Isn't it interesting? I think it was a TED Talk I heard where somebody was like, "This is interesting." This guy like, oh, this is a TED Talk I want to give. It's sort of like just doomsaying. Somebody explaining that we can't. We're not going to stop technology. Like I know we know that in general, but the fact that we keep thinking of it like, oh, if something goes too far, we'll stop it, or if something goes into a dangerous area. They were talking about like the smart devices, the fact that if you get a new refrigerator now, there's a good chance it'll be like Wi-Fi capable for no reason. That some Yahoo of course they made your refrigerator like able to log onto the internet and like check on your juice or something. Like it always starts as some gimmick, because what if that sells an extra refrigerator? But it's like, it's never going to stop. There is no way. You can't opt out of this stuff. I don't know why I find that interesting. I guess I just find it like awful. I guess we're in the end of the show because I'm just drunk and babbling nonsense.
I travel so much, and then I have this thing where like I'll buy some food, and then I have to go on the road, and I'll put everything in the freezer. And now I just got nothing but shit in the freezer. I just have a million loaves of bread in the freezer that
What kind of bread?
We're just two old men on a bus stop bench. We're like Mammoth's duck variations. We're just gonna like, I want the bike. The bike is nice. I want to. You never were a Red Ryder wagon.
I don't know. Refrigerators are a bummer. And then you buy some bananas, and you're like, I got to leave town, and you put the bananas in the freezer because you don't want them to be rotting, and then you just got some frozen ass bananas in there, and they're black, and then
I mean, I haven't stepped foot in a grocery store since
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, and whenever it was just like for a party or something weird, like it was some scavenger hunt or something. It wasn't like